So last night I went camping with some friends in Vonore, Tennessee. Not a place that I have maybe ever been to. I maybe like passed through there. I don't know. I've definitely heard of it, but uh, anyway, Vonore, Tennessee. So there was I did not intend to do anything other than camp and go home, but there was a cemetery very close to where we were camping, so I figured I'd go check it out. Um, when I did, I discovered there was another cemetery further down from that. So it all kind of led one thing to another, and here's what happened. Kind of run of the mill here in Vonore, just a hill with graves. The Ironworker Grave is cool, but yeah, this grave, Ironworker. I guess there's an ironworker buried here, and here's his iron grave. It says Ironworker, and when you look down to see his name, he's got his boots here. His boots are on the grave, and they're filled up with dirt. They're filled up with dirt, but yeah, it's kind of a cool grave. Just want to show it to you. Okay, so it's road closed, but apparently there is a very old cemetery down through here, still in Vonore, Tennessee. This is down the street from Big Toqua Cemetery, or however you say that. And yeah, we're gonna walk down a little bit, see if we can see anything down here. So I walked down that path a while, was unable to find a cemetery. My phone says my map on my phone says there's a cemetery out there somewhere. There's barbed wire over there. I don't think I'm going to be walking out into that field. But right on the opposite side here is a gate, a stone gate. So maybe this goes to the cemetery. I'm going to walk down there and see what I find. I found a different kind of cemetery. Look at this. Old, I guess there used to be a house or different buildings here. I don't know. They go all the way back there, though. All these stone structures. I don't know. Maybe these are graves. I don't know. Maybe they're graves of houses. I'm going to check them out. But, yeah, maybe it's an architectural graveyard back here. I don't know. Some sort of graves, even if it's not people. This meant something to somebody at some point. So, yeah, if we want to talk about death and destruction, I mean, someone probably used to live here. This used to be someone's livelihood, their home. They took care of kids or pets or something here. And now, some dude walking up on it, however many years later, rifling through what's left and forgotten, but being brought to you on the internet right here in Vonore, Tennessee. And yeah, so behind me, clearly there was some foundation of a home right here. I don't know. Yeah, all out of brick and stone. Someone's house was here. It's back in the woods, back behind where you're not supposed to go in some park. I wonder if it's still private property. But yeah, someone's livelihood, someone's life lived right here. People probably stood in this point I'm at right now and did something with their life, and here I am looking at what's left over, the spoils of someone's life and their family right here. And I guess these right here were the front steps. Looks like they piled a step on a step, but it would be boom, 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 boom. I guess there was a porch or something there that connected to the larger house. That was some sort of slave quarters or whatever out in the back. But yeah, some old house used for something, I'm sure, out here in the middle of the woods where I thought a graveyard was. Just a different kind of graveyard. I walked through a crazy spider web and it is all over my glasses. But yeah, check out this tree also. This is the last thing we'll check out here, but all the remnants of human homes over there and the remnants of animal homes right here, possibly still an animal home. But yeah, look at that big old hole in that big old tree. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, things change. There used to be a tiny little sapling. Now I could live in that tree, probably, you know. I don't know for how long. It's pretty hot. I like AC. But yeah. Okay, so after all that, I came home and looked it up to try to find out what those ruins were, and not a lot of information. But according to a website by some local Vonore dude named Gary, who hasn't updated his website since 2015 or so, according to Gary on this website, those ruins are a place called the McGee-Carson House. And also, according to Gary, not I can't verify it, but he says that the McGee-Carson House was a Civil War era home, and it burned down some when they decided later after it was built to make it a town hall of some kind for the area or for Vonore or whatever was there at the time. And when they ran electricity to it, they messed something up and it caught fire and it burned down. So that's the apparent story according to Gary, the only guy I could find online talking about the McGee-Carson House, which is now the McGee-Carson House ruins. Also, the cemetery that I was looking for back there is apparently there. There was a path off to the side of the road that I somehow missed, but it's all just a reason to go back and check it out in greater detail. From what I understand, the cemetery that is back there on the other side of the street, it is present, but you have to go further down off the path, and apparently all the graves are broken and all this stuff. So I will definitely save that for another day. In the meantime, really cool to have stumbled upon the ruins of anything. Also, another thing, Gary said that he buried one of his dogs there on that property. From what I understand, he said by the fence, but a lot of his pictures are no longer showing up there, so I couldn't get a good idea of it. But there's another grave up there. You know, it's some more. I don't know. The history continues of the thing. You know, it's at some point. There's people living in this home. There's people whose lives revolve around this place. People whose lives revolved around building the place, and then it becomes one thing to another and to another until it just is destroyed. And now it still sits out there. These same bricks have sat out there through over 100 years now. And being weathered down and I guess sunken into the ground. I don't know. That, and then that they just sit there over all these periods of time with this rock, and yeah, and now they're being put in digital form here and documented by me and Gary in his photographs. And now in addition to that, there's a dog buried on the property, and more things that it becomes, and yet it's still just undisturbed down this weird road. Oh, and another thing, if I would have continued down the road and kept going further, it would have ended in Tellico Lake. The road drives into, or dead ends or something, right into Tellico Lake. But not just into Tellico Lake, but at this place called Ice House Bottom, which is now underwater. When they built Tellico Dam, it flooded. They flooded it, and it's the oldest known inhabited land that's known in Tennessee. Apparently, it was settled as early as 7,500 BC as some sort of hunting community thing. I don't know. There's a Wikipedia page for it. Look it up. Ice House Bottom. But this place, this very old place where they dug all this, had all these archaeological excavations from, just got flooded when they put in Tellico Dam and intentionally flooded the area. But they took all the artifacts out first, apparently. And it's right around where that road ends is at that site, at Ice House Bottom, which is now at the bottom of Tellico Lake. But that's probably worth a whole other trip out there. So interesting, this one to have made it as far as I did. I probably should have checked out some more stuff. Probably should have tried a little harder to find the graveyard on the other side, but my phone died, so I couldn't take any video anyway. Just another reason to go back out there. So Vonore, Tennessee, McGee-Carson Road is what you're looking for if you want to find the McGee-Carson House. And all the other stuff out there, I guess we'll find in a second video. And look up Ice House Bottoms on Wikipedia if you want to know about that. Interesting stuff. Didn't know about any of it until I went there today. And yeah, change, everything in flux. Used to be a place where people lived. At least used to be a place where people operated. Now Gary's dog is buried out there, and I'm tromping around through these ghosts of old time, walking on their steps that they went up and down every day, on a porch that no longer exists. And it just sits there at the end of a flooded site that people used all the time back in the day. Just everything changing, everything in flux. Gonna keep it going, see what happens next. Thanks for watching.